Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the top 2 United States of America quarter dollar coins every collector should know about, so let's get started. The Washington quarter dollar, dated 1968 without a mint mark, presented today in natural circulated color condition, is a coin that carries the atmosphere of a transformative moment in American history. This quarter was created during a time when the United States was experiencing cultural change, technological progress, and shifting social landscapes, and like millions of other coins, it quietly moved through everyday transactions while history unfolded around it. At first glance, the 1968 Washington quarter may appear ordinary, yet when you slow down and truly examine its details, the coin begins to reveal a deeper sense of character. The circulated color immediately tells a story of movement, showing that this piece was not stored away but actively used by people in their daily routines. The obverse features the unmistakable profile of George Washington, a design that had already become deeply familiar to Americans by the late 1960s. In circulated condition, Washington's hair and facial features appear softened, creating a portrait that feels shaped by time and human interaction rather than preserved in perfect mint state. The absence of a mint mark is particularly interesting for a coin dated 1968. Beginning in that year, the Philadelphia Mint resumed placing mint marks on most coins, making examples without the mark distinctive in their own subtle way. This detail adds a layer of curiosity for collectors who enjoy observing variations within everyday coinage. The natural circulated color of a 1968 quarter often displays a calm silver-gray tone, sometimes accented with darker shading near the lettering, rim, or recessed areas of the design. These color variations developed gradually as the coin interacted with air, moisture, and constant handling. Every tiny mark on the coin represents a moment in its journey. This quarter may have passed through grocery stores, diners, ticket booths, and countless other locations where small coins played an essential role in commerce. The reverse design displays the powerful image of the American eagle with wings spread wide, perched above a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches. Even in circulated condition, the eagle maintains its bold presence and symbolic strength. Over time, the highest points of the eagle's feathers may become gently worn, particularly on the breast and wing tips. Yet the overall design remains balanced and easily recognizable, reflecting the quality of the original engraving. The year 1968 sits in the early years of the clad coinage era, which began in 1965 when the United States shifted away from silver in circulating dimes and quarters. This quarter represents that new generation of durable coins designed for everyday use. The copper-nickel clad composition gave the coin its strength, allowing it to withstand decades of handling while maintaining its structure and appearance. The reeded edge of the quarter adds another layer of tactile detail. Even after years of circulation, the ridges remain visible, though slightly softened by time. For collectors, circulated coins like this offer a connection to real history rather than idealized perfection. They show how coins actually lived and moved through society. A 1968 quarter may have been used to pay for public transportation, vending machines, newspapers, or simple purchases that defined daily life in that era. New collectors often study circulated quarters to understand how wear affects the highest points of a design, especially Washington's cheek and the eagle's breast. Under careful lighting, the coin's surface reveals fine scratches and contact marks that create a unique texture across the metal. These marks are not flaws but evidence of the coin's long journey through countless exchanges. There is something deeply relatable about a circulated quarter from the late 1960s. It connects us to a time when cash was the primary tool of everyday commerce. In a YouTube video, this coin becomes more than currency, it becomes a storyteller, inviting viewers to imagine the decades of life it has witnessed. The Washington quarter design has proven remarkably resilient, maintaining its visual strength even when softened by years of circulation. As modern payment systems move increasingly toward digital technology, coins like this gain emotional and historical significance. The imperfections across the surface give the coin personality, transforming it from a mass-produced object into a unique artifact. Even though millions of quarters were minted in 1968, each circulated example developed its own character through time. The Philadelphia Mint's role in producing coinage for the nation is quietly represented in this small piece of metal. Studying the coin closely encourages patience and appreciation for the details that often go unnoticed in everyday objects. It reminds us that history does not only live in museums but also in the ordinary tools people use to navigate their daily lives. The combination of Washington's portrait on the obverse and the powerful eagle on the reverse creates a design that has endured for generations. This 1968 quarter likely traveled through countless communities, witnessing the evolving landscape of American life. First up, the Washington quarter dollar, dated 1965 without a mint mark, presented in natural circulated color condition, is a coin that represents a turning point in the history of American currency. This was the very first year when the United States Mint introduced clad coinage for quarters, replacing the traditional silver composition that had been used for decades. Because of this historic change, the 1965 Washington quarter carries a special meaning, marking the beginning of a new era in everyday American money. At first glance, the 1965 quarter may look similar to many other Washington quarters, yet when you pause and carefully examine it, the coin reveals an important story about economic shifts and technological adaptation. Its circulated color instantly tells us that this coin was not simply preserved but actively used by people during one of the most dynamic periods of the 20th century. The obverse proudly features the portrait of George Washington, a design that had already become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. In circulated condition, Washington's hair, cheek, and jawline show gentle smoothing caused by years of handling, creating a portrait that feels shaped by time rather than untouched by it. The absence of a mint mark on the 1965 quarter is not unusual, because during the mid-1960s the United States Mint temporarily removed mint marks from circulating coins. This decision was made to discourage coin hoarding during a nationwide coin shortage that occurred when silver prices were rising and older coins were disappearing from circulation. The natural circulated color of a 1965 quarter often displays soft silver-gray tones with occasional darker patches near the edges or around the lettering. These color changes develop naturally as the coin interacts with air, moisture, and human hands over decades. Every tiny scratch and contact mark on the surface represents movement and exchange. This quarter may have passed through grocery stores, movie theaters, bus stations, and diners, quietly playing its role in everyday transactions. The reverse side of the coin features the powerful American eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and framed by olive branches. Even after years of circulation, the eagle remains a bold and recognizable symbol of strength and national identity. Where in circulated condition often appears first on the eagle's breast feathers and the highest points of the wings. Despite this softening, the overall design continues to display its strong composition and clear symbolism. The year 1965 is historically significant because it marked the transition from silver coinage to copper-nickel clad composition. Rising silver prices had made it too expensive for the government to continue using precious metal in everyday coins. The new clad composition gave the coin a durable structure consisting of a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel alloy. This innovation allowed coins like the 1965 quarter to remain in circulation for many years. The reeded edge of the coin adds a tactile element that collectors and everyday users alike can feel immediately. Even in circulated condition, the ridges remain visible though slightly softened by time. Holding a 1965 quarter feels like holding a piece of economic history, a coin that symbolizes adaptation and practical change during a period of national transition. For collectors, circulated examples of the 1965 quarter offer a realistic glimpse into how coins actually lived in circulation rather than how they appeared fresh from the mint. New collectors often study coins like this to learn how wear affects specific areas of the design, such as Washington's cheek and the eagle's breast. Under careful lighting, the coin surface reveals fine hairline scratches and subtle wear patterns that form unique textures across the metal. These marks are not simply imperfections, they are the fingerprints of decades of use and movement. There is something deeply relatable about a circulated 1965 quarter because millions of Americans once relied on coins exactly like this for everyday purchases. In a YouTube video, this coin becomes a powerful storytelling object, encouraging viewers to imagine the many places it may have traveled. The Washington quarter design proved strong enough to survive the shift in composition, maintaining its iconic appearance even as the metal beneath it changed. As modern transactions increasingly move toward digital platforms, coins like the 1965 quarter become reminders of a more tactile financial world. The imperfections across the surface give the coin character and individuality, separating it from the millions of other quarters minted that same year. Even though the mintage numbers were enormous, each circulated coin develops its own unique personality through years of handling. The United States Mint's decision to remove mint marks during this era adds an additional historical layer to the coin story. Examining this quarter closely encourages patience and curiosity, allowing collectors to appreciate details often overlooked in everyday objects. It reminds us that history is not only preserved in documents and monuments but also in the coins people carried in their pockets. The pairing of Washington's dignified portrait with the powerful eagle on the reverse creates a design that has endured for generations. This 1965 quarter likely moved through countless communities, witnessing changes in culture, technology, and daily life. Every smooth detail and toned surface tells a quiet story of exchange, trust, and continuity.